Hey guys, Ryu here with Not Avid for Blender. In this one we're going to be designing a few things for this environment that we're preparing for you guys for the upcoming course for Unity game engine. So we started to add some stuff to the environment, and building it inside and sort of decorating it, making it feel a little bit more, kind of lived in. Today we're going to be designing something for this part. We're going to be designing kind of like a stasis pod here and maybe two monitors on two sides. Now, before we start, I want to tell you guys that we released two free updates recently for our courses. One of them is going to be 497 tips for Blender, which we co-created with Blender Daily, and we added 30 new bonus tips. So if you got that course, just simply go ahead and download them. And if you haven't got it yet, then you can just simply go to Blender Market or Gumroad and get it. Links are in the video description. The second update was done for the unwrapping course, and basically we revamped the whole thing, and you can download the updates for free as well. But this course price will change to 20 bucks on Wednesday. So if you want to get it at $10, which is the original price, I suggest you do it now, because on Wednesday price goes to 20 bucks, which means now you can still get it at 50%. Reason being mainly because the course was revamped to a point when you literally replaced the entire content. You can still access the legacy content, of course, but there is a brand new content covering the whole thing, all unwrapping process, and there's a lot of new tips and stuff and new techniques. So if you have the course, the update of course is free. If you don't have it, then go ahead and buy it for 10 bucks. It's on Blender Market, Gumroad, and blenderbros.com, and that's basically it. And remember that the price is gonna go to 20 bucks on Wednesday. So that's it in terms of the news. Now we're gonna be designing this thing here. So now when you design something for environments, what you want to do is you want to stay within a theme, which is kind of be challenging sometimes. And you also need to kind of come up with an idea of what kind of interior this is. I'm going for kind of like an industrial lab, as you can see, with some kind of generators, machines, and kind of like a control room / lab. So here we're gonna have kind of like a stasis pod, maybe they're gonna be researched, and two monitors. So that's what I'm going for. So we're going to add a cube, and we're gonna start modeling. First of all, we need to get the size right. So I'm gonna get a cube. I'm gonna get one of these humans and go to local mode, right? So now the size needs to be correct. So let me just try that and go to side view, and let's see. So if I duplicate this human, right, and I lay her down, and let's say this will be my stasis part, it needs to be a bit longer, right? So it needs to be a bit longer, and it doesn't have to be so deep. So let's see that it's a little bit too deep. Alt Z. Now let me just turn on my screencast key so you can see what I'm doing. SZ and scale it a bit, and yeah, that maybe it's a bit too too long. I mean, this could also be designed for a male, because she's a chick, so probably a bit shorter, and it's a bit too wide. So something like that maybe. I think this should do a little bit bigger. There we go. This should do, right? Peachy. So now we can design the thing. Well, let's grab a handgun and let's do some slicing, right? There's gonna be slice number 1. Let's go switch to view mode, and boom. And then we could create something like this, maybe a little more shallow, or that's gonna be too shallow. Yeah, this could work. This could work. Alright, so let's operations and multiply. And I think we might actually make it a bit smoother. Let's add some bevels. Let's say that many segments will do. Remember, this is gonna go to the game engine, so it doesn't have to be super, super curvy. This will do, and we can curve this one as well. So curve this one, and then we could actually chamfer this one. So select this one on the top here, and we could chamfer that. It's gonna be interesting. And then we can, bevel this with one segment, and we're gonna apply weighted normals. And now we need to change the angle here, but that's gonna be a bit tricky. So what we might do This one might change this to weight. So go to hard ups and just apply weight. That's it. So sharpen, apply to weight here. There we go, and switch the bevel to weight. Boom. Alright, peachy. So we got that going, and now we just slice it open, right? So let's grab that, and so cut it maybe here, and hold control, and here, and B. So we can introduce a bit of a bevel, and 4 segments will do, and then X and slice. So that's gonna be that, and so let's go to side view, grab this cutter, and create cutter like this here. That's cool. Let's cut this bottom a bit like that. Let's create a bit more interesting shape here. That's better. Looks a bit more sportsy. Now we can keep this cut here, you see, so we can simply select this and sharpen. And we're gonna add weighted normals here. Bevel weight, sorry. Select this one and sharpen, select this one and sharpen, and delete that. We don't need this cutter anymore. Grab these, and we could, chamfer this, copy to the other side. That's cool. You can create a really cool design with minimalistic forms, which is awesome. Let's add something to the back. So let's add the cylinder, and let's bring it down, right? Down here, scale it down, and let's scale it even more and extend it a little bit, put it somewhere here. This could be some oxygen tanks or whatnot. This could be pretty cool. Let's make it a bit more shorter here, maybe like this, and scale it, apply scale, and chamfer this. We could create a smoother top here, like that. Sharpen. That's good. And copy to the other side, right? How are we looking? We're looking pretty peachy. So let's apply this. Operations multiply, and here, and union. But before we do that, let's just add a loop here, loop here, loop here, and loop here, okay? And another one here, here, here. This should do, okay. Select both operations, booleans, and union, and then simply, sharpen and shift 2. How are we looking? We're looking pretty good. The bevel's a bit too crazy, so we're probably gonna have to fix it a bit. So GG, and let's just go to occlude and GG and move it in here a bit, or move it up. Alright, and this one could go here. And this angle is really, huge. So what we could do is simply, run the edge like that. Alright, that's gonna fix it more or less. And this should do, and then simply, copy to the other side, and you're done. And that's cool. And then here on the top, we could have some glass top, so we could just slice it in. So let's grab the cut like that, and B, and simply slice it through like this, and let's press X, and this is gonna be the top. Now before we apply this, you see they're gonna have some problems here, so let's move this either here or here. Either will work. You need to move it outside of the zone of the bevel, right? So here maybe it would work as well, something like this. So this side here is a bit unfortunate, so what we can do is, grab this cutter and grab this one in GY and move it out here like this, okay? Even more like that. Alright, this is gonna be a bit better. So, and then we can add some loops here, one here, one here, and then copy to the other side, right? And then sharpen. It should be fine. There's some shading problem on this one, but what you could do is simply run knife here, press E, and it's all about creating smaller n-gons here. This is really large n-gon, so let's slice it a bit more, maybe like this. That's better. Okay, cool, that's good enough. If you put textures, you're not gonna be able to see that anyway. So let's grab this top here and select everything. And shift curve extract a little bit, and sharpen. I'm gonna decrease the bevel, make it really small. We could just run some loops here with Z, so it's gonna be straight, and then E, and one more, and do something like that, and peachy. And then what you want to do is remove this and this. So now we remove this one as well here. Then go to occlude mode and you select these 4 edges. Okay, and then simply bevel them. And this will create like a nice slope here. I think this will be better with hardened normals, to be honest, instead of weighted normals, unless we're gonna change here to shading to face affected and face influence and 100. So this is gonna flex your faces. So you could do the same thing here. So shading and affected, and then weighted normals, and face influence and 100%. It's gonna help tremendously with shading. Right here, the same weighted normals and same story, affected, face influence and 100%. Right? If it doesn't, you might try harden normals. I think it's gonna be better. Look at this space here in the back. See, if I turn off weighted normals and turn hardened normals, it's I think a little bit better here. So sometimes hardened normals is better, sometimes weighted normals is better. You gotta try different things, right? Let's add a empty. So just add an empty, and where is it? Here. Let's select everything here. Let's select everything and Shift S and to select it, and then move the empty, and then Control I to invert it, select the empty, and Control P and keep transform, and then move everything, move all of these to pod, and then we can move it. So G, Shift Z, and move it somewhere here, and then we're going to move it up and grab one of these floors and go to Scifi. Let's just move this one here on top of this floor. Cool. And we could either have 2 of them here like this, or 1. So G, Shift Z, and move it somewhere here. Select this empty, Shift D and Shift Z. Or you could create a collection instance. Go here and create collection instance. That also works. So I think this will be cool. Gonna 2 pods here, and I think we're gonna have 2 monitors maybe hanging off of the roof somewhere here. So we need to create some kind of monitor arms, right? So let's just, we could actually grab one of these monitors and make them smaller, So make them a bit smaller, right? So Shift D and, grab it to local, make it a bit smaller like that. And then let's just add a cylinder. So where is it? And the cylinder here, like a pivot point, So RX90, RZ90, there we go. And move it somewhere here, right? This could be a little bit shorter, to be honest, like that, So where is it? GX, move it in here. SX. Something like this. And then we could slice this in half. So, you know, X. And then sharpen. And then move this one here and move the cursor to the to this thing and just rotate it on cursor like that. The bevel is insane, so we need to make it smaller. It's always here. And I need some bevel here, one segment. Weighted normals, and let's just apply scale and, you know, create some cool design here. We could insert it a little bit. You don't have to do this if you don't want to, but I'll test, scale it in a bit and scale it down. Let's change to individual origins, and you're gonna have something like this. It should be a little bit wider, I think. There we go. And you know, this could be mounted to the ceiling, right? So select everything, Shift S to select it, Alt A and Shift A and add empty. It's smaller, and you know, move it somewhere here. And then Control I and simply select this one, and Control P, and then or let's select everything. So Shift G, immediate children. This one, go back, and then we're gonna press P. Then we're gonna press M and monitor small, and we can move it, right? So G, Shift Z, and move it. Where is it? GX and sorry, G. Let's just change this one here, GX, and move it in here. It's a bit too small, make it a bit bigger. There we go. RZ and rotate it like this, you know. And we can mount it, you know, somewhere here, like that. RZ and we need to move to the other side, right? So Shift DX, sorry, Y, and then RZ 180, which will not work. So just select the empty RZ 180. There we go. Then we got two monitors on two sides, which looks pretty bloody cool, right? And we can create some, you know, some mounting in here. Something got messed up in here, to be honest. That's kind of interesting. Let me see that. This should be lower here. There we go. That's better. And also this one should be, you know, a bit more in the middle. So same here, I suppose. GX and just move it a little bit. Peachy. Okay, and we could, you know, we could create some kind of a cable going up as well. Some kind of a tiny bit on the ceiling that would imitate some kind of a mount. We could borrow this one. Shift D, GZ, move it up, and then, you know, this is arrayed. So what we can do is remove the array. Okay. Now make it narrower. So, you know, scale it on Y. You're gonna get something like this. And GZ, and, you know, move it over somewhere here, and let me see that. Move it somewhere here, and then RX90, boom, and RZ 180, and scale it, and, you know, looks cool. And now we can use cablerators. So Q, and let's go to cable ops and cable, and we can, you know, run a cable here. As to scale it, it could be a bit smaller, so it's a bit crazy, this cable. One more cable could be good. And then you press Q to run another cable. And Q and run another cable. And you're done. This could be some kind of a cargo here as well. That would not be a bad idea, actually. We could grab these canisters and you know, move them over there. So Shift D and Shift Z and move it somewhere here. This could be, for example, kind of like an oxygen supply or whatever. G, move it up and down, move it in here. So G, Shift Z. We could just, you know, stack two of them in here or something. One, and then Shift D and Shift Z, and you know, another one here, and then Shift D, Shift Z, another one here. And there you go, guys. It looks really awesome. So these will be a, you know, kind of stasis spots. You could run some cables over here if you wanted to. I'm gonna be doing that, but you could. And looks pretty peachy. So as you can see, guys, the environment is coming together. We got some server areas in here. And we're gonna have something in here as well. I'll have to think about that. And probably some air condition units gonna have to be added. Maybe on a ceiling. And this area is kind of done. Maybe some more cargo somewhere in the corner here. Maybe we could have some cargo in this space, or maybe some benches just to rest and have some coffee or whatnot. I have to think about that, but you know, it's coming together. So we're working really hard with ST3 and Josh on this environment, and the whole course is gonna probably take another 3 weeks or more. It's a lot of work, guys, because this is not going to be just, you know, designing of an environment or texturing it or creating trim sheets or bringing it to Unity, but it's going to involve also game logic and literally creating a living and breathing very simple environment. So you will see some drones flying about and stuff like that. It's going to be awesome. So, you know, we have a lot of work to still ahead of us, but we have a great fun, and you know, hope you guys are excited about it as we are. Now, in addition to this, if you would like to learn how to use Hardapps and Box Cutter, we have a free course on our website. So link is in the video description, and we included you not just a course on how to create a simple Scifi terminal, but also we show you how to, you know, texture it, how to post-process the render, the whole jazz. And we're gonna give you a free PDF file with shortcuts for Hardapps and Box Cutter, which are very useful, kind of like a cheat sheet. So it's really cool. Anyway, thanks for watching. See you next one.